Are you ready to make this week one of the best weeks yet in real estate? Let's go ahead and get started. This week's podcast, episode 26 on Restless Real Estate, is going to cover one of our latest insider access client-only webinars. This webinar actually hosted two agents, Ward Wilkes and Mary Simpson of the Marty Hampton team here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Both of them come in and discuss what it took for them to maximize becoming absolute dominating listing agent. So in today's episode, we're going to dig deeper into our latest webinar. We're going to give you the short, the sweet, the skinny, the cool bits of information that you could implement into your business starting today. So make sure you continue listening, and thanks so much. Hope you enjoy. When should you use coming soon homes? That's what these two lovely, lovely agents are for. Then you're going to learn about how to amplify a coming soon listing the proper way, and of course some fun tips and tools at the tail end to beef up before our giveaway. I really want you to focus. That means no Instagramming, that means no texting. Get rid of your email, just pull up this video. And I'm gonna tell you, these guys learn from the best. Our CEO, Marty Hampton, I mean, they are feeding off of everything she trains and teaches, so you're gonna learn some insider information. I think it's most important to introduce these two lovely agents. So you all know me, nothing special, whatever. But let me bring in this one first. Let's do Ward Wilkes. So Ward, who are you? Where do you come from?
Oh, hi. So I guess I've been with Marty for coming up on 5 years now, I think.
Wow.
I started as a listing coordinator here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was a listing coordinator for about 6 months. The best thing I've ever done for myself so far as a real estate agent. And of course, I've had my license since 2011. And I have been very, very successful. But the very reason that I asked Marty to let me go to work for her was when, during the interview, she explained coming soon to me.
Really?
Uh-huh.
In your first interview with Marty?
My first interview with Marty and Paul, she went over coming soon.
Okay.
And it absolutely blew me away because I immediately saw the potential of what that could do for a listing agent inside of somebody's home, having gone up against all of the pauses, the reasons why someone doesn't list, all of the things that come up in a listing interview or a listing presentation from the seller's point of view. Coming soon really took away or answered a lot of questions that made me have a real high percentage on my listing interviews versus listing agreements signed.
That's huge.
It is huge.
And before Marty, you were with another real estate
firm, right? I was with
right?
a very respectable real estate firm here in North Carolina. Yes.
So they had roots here. I'm sure they gave you leads. I mean, I'm sure you had some listings. I mean, what do you think you were listing then?
They gave us no leads whatsoever. We were independent agents, and we fought over phone duty.
Have y'all ever fought over leads or phone duty? I bet your hand is raising.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody called in sick and couldn't be on phone duty, it was like a stampede to the phone.
Yeah.
You know? And we were open. I mean, I lived in open houses. I mean, it was just bare knuckle real estate. It wasn't somebody giving me 5 leads a week. I mean, that would have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So coming soon, if you want me to elaborate on coming soon, when I go into a listing appointment, I share that story that I just shared with everyone here today. That coming soon is the reason I asked Marty to let me go to work for it, because it separates Marty Hampton Remax 1 from every other firm in the triangle. Okay.
But let me interject real quick, because I'm going to be honest. You guys see other agents putting coming soon signs up, right? You see Facebook posts out there that say coming soon on it. What makes this different?
And I elaborate on that. I delve down into that. So, and I've been asked that. And I just tell the potential clients that the coming soon advertisement is basically what somebody sees when they're driving by the house. That's the extent of that advertisement, or how many views they can get on Facebook. And then I compare it to a national or a North American campaign in all the major markets in Canada, Hawaii, and all the 49 states coming back to the East Coast.
And look, to interject on that, like I explain it in as like a movie preview. So, you know, it's like Ward said, the coming soon sign, you have to drive by the listing and then you see it, or maybe on Facebook. But our coming soon national site is more like it's a movie preview. I mean, everyone's getting a glimpse of that coming soon.
I mean, and what's going on? You guys know this market way better than me. I'm not an agent, but like, what are you dealing with? What are you two up against in this kind of a market? I mean, when you're walking into a listing appointment, I know it's not just agent competition you're dealing with anymore.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, Raleigh has been targeted by all of your, whatever you want to call them, your instant buyers.
Yeah.
All
of them.
Yeah, they're all here. And so we're going up against that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of competition out here this year that wasn't here as much as it was last year.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, I mean, there's a lot to be said to somebody that can walk into your house and say, here's $300,000, sell me your house, you know?
Yeah.
So we've got to be on our A game, you know, and coming soon helps me, and I know Mary too, be on the A game.
Perfect.
You know? So here's the deal. I mean, in a regular listing interview, the client is not ready to have people knocking on the door to come in to show the house.
How many times do you think, like percentage-wise, are we talking? Do you walk into a house and the seller's like, it is pristine, it's ready to go on the market? What percentage do you think that is?
You're talking about who's ready versus who's not?
Correct.
I'd say 9 out of 10 are not ready.
I was going to say 8. Yeah, and I
That's
just said
still
the word
high.
Probably 8, 7 to 8 out of 10.
Yeah. That's still huge.
So
you can still capitalize on that. What do you say? And actually, let's pause for a second because I want to make sure I get to you too. Because Mary has a really interesting background. She is. I mean, I don't even know how many listings you got. You listed and closed your first year. Tell us. Just introduce yourself real quick before we keep diving in.
Well, before Marty's team, I had no real estate experience. This was the first real estate job I've had, and I started out. And I've been here a little over 4 years, and I was a buyer agent for 2 years. So, and then I moved over to the listing side and closed about 72 the first year.
What? Who does that? 72 listings their first year as a listing agent. And how did you do that? How can you contribute that?
Well, it's hard, like Ward said. I mean, we're going in and the buyers are overwhelmed. They're not ready to make a decision, and they're interviewing more people. They're getting offers online from Open Door. They're in some, just all the other competition that's come in. So, like Ward, I lean heavily on coming soon. And when they're not ready, that's the phase I want them in. When they're not ready yet, it's fine. Like, put that burden. Let Ward and I shoulder that for you. I have a saying, and I tell them, hey, put the paintbrush down.
Love that.
You don't need to, because they'll be like, look, I got to clean the garage out. In the attic, I have to paint. I've got all these things I need to do before we can, do anything. Perfect. Let me take over from here.
Yep.
And send in our stager and the vendors that we have, and let me shoulder that burden, and I'll get it done much faster for you. Because they try to do it all on their own, and then they want to bring us in.
Right.
Sometimes they've done the wrong things.
Yeah, that's true.
They used the wrong paint color.
Yeah.
I've had people put a backsplash that we had them take down. So just stop where you are and let us come in and we'll handle all that.
Do you think Coming Soon Homes enables you guys to capture those listings way further out ahead of time?
Absolutely.
Yeah, even people building new construction homes, we put their home in Coming Soon.
Yeah.
So many advantages to the making an offer too.
Right.
With having your home in Coming Soon.
Absolutely. Have you guys ever seen a circumstance with the seller? Let's say they have a home to sell, but they need to buy, right? And they're worried. They're like, I don't want to put my home for sale until I make sure, all my ducks are in a row. How have you guys used Coming Soon in that kind of a circumstance when the seller's kind of scared?
Well, so there's a lot of things, but so the interactive side of Coming Soon is that 24/7, 365 days a year presence that we have there. If a buyer goes on there, there's a really good chance they're looking for a home.
Yeah.
So I can show the client how many views their home has gotten. I can give feedback as to the buyer's agents that are calling me from leads that came directly off of Coming Soon. And the biggest question I get off of Coming Soon from buyer's agents, not just Marty Hampton buyer's agents, buyer's agents all over the triangle, is when can we see the house? Well, the presence that eventually we have on Coming Soon with the drone and the Matterport and the 3D and everything that we put out there, sight unseen offers are not impossible. Especially if you're dealing with out of town or out of state clients that are moving here And they've got to have some place to put the kids here when they get here, when they land on the plane. So it can happen.
And I've done it too.
Yeah,
I've had it happen. Yeah,
it can happen. Nobody else can offer that.
Yep.
You know, and so what Mary was talking about so far is the service before the listing goes live. Okay, that's where I think this industry is going, is being more of a service to our clients, other than filling out some paperwork and then eventually entering in 200 or 320 characters or fields in an MLS and putting it online and having somebody go put a sign up. It's the before that is just as important, because you're nurturing those clients to get them to where you want to be, to where they step out on the stage and we call it live. They're the star on the shining hill. You know, and that's what's getting us the 5s and 10s and 20,000s over list price. You know, so it's a whole marketing scheme or theory that Marty was smart enough to put together before I was ever even in real estate. So I'm very fortunate to be on this team and have this tool at my disposal.
That's awesome. And let me just further explain. So obviously everybody knows Marty Hampton's our CEO here at Coming Soon Homes. Marty is a broker owner of 2 offices of Remax One Realty, and she has her own mega team. So, I mean, she has a lot going on. And so what she did is she actually is the exclusive partner, obviously, with Coming Soon Homes in Raleigh. So Remax One Realty agents are the only agents in this market that can offer and leverage Coming Soon Homes. So we're not just a Coming Soon sign. We're not just a Facebook post. We're actually a strategy that drives people somewhere. And you guys know too, I mean, I think Marty's been pushing it more so lately, but you guys should start thinking about building inventory for winter, for spring 2020, dare I say, right?
Absolutely.
So do you have listings right now that are
absolutely
far out?
Yes.
Okay, so I've had listings that were definitely set up like that. Okay, there was a lot to be done on the house. And so what Coming Soon does, I tell a client is look, take a deep breath. We set the clock. We're controlling everything. We're going to control the day you go on the market, when you have to have the house painted. Oh, and guess what? If we don't make it, we just reset the clock.
That's huge to understand, because I think so many people feel like they're locked into the timeline that they told the seller. But if you pitch it and you set the expectation right in the appointment, you say, hey, guess what? If you need an extra week to clean, or someone forgot to do something, no big deal. We can go right in there and edit that out.
On the reverse side of that is, hey, if we're in the spring market especially, you get done a week before, we're good. Because nobody can tell us no, okay? Because we're in control.
What kind of receptiveness have you had from sellers? When you sit down at the appointment, you bust out your listing presentation, you go through your spiel, what do sellers say? Like
relief.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're like, whew.
The best thing
because
you
they
can
can't put the plan in place.
Right.
They're overwhelmed.
They're looking to you for that.
They're stressed out. They're overwhelmed with all they have to do.
So the best thing I can hear when I go in and I start and I bring up Coming Soon, that's why we called you out here. We heard about Coming Soon. And I'm like,
that's huge.
I'm fixing to sign a contract.
This is my listing.
Right. So that's the best. And the word of mouth gets out about it, you know. And when you can put a home on Coming Soon and you can get 3,200 hits on there, you're doing something right. You're doing something right. And
it's important to mention view count, because I've seen some of you out there with your listings and your view counts are kind of low. View counts are critical. The more traffic and people that you bring back to the site to preview that listing, the more that's creating that kind of culture where people are going to start battling and seeing how much competition is interested in the same home that they are. So when the home officially opens up for showings, you got 12 people out the door salivating, ready to make the biggest offer that they can, because they know how much competition is going to be in line with them.
Exactly.
So it's informative. This is such a powerful tool, not only for listings, but for the buy side too. You are providing information and data to people that they cannot get it anywhere else. Your Coming Soon listing information is not on Zillow right now, typically. Your Coming Soon listing information isn't on your IDX feed. They have to come to you and your Coming Soon website and your program and your business to get this information, and that separates you leaps and bounds probably against the other agents that you're in competition
Well,
with.
Mary can speak to this more than I can because she started as a buyer's agent. But I can assure you, I don't know how many buyer's agents are with Marty Hampton's team, okay, on Marty's team. But I assure you that they're sitting out there waiting for that email to go ding that somebody is asking a question about a come and soon property.
Yep.
You know, there's no doubt in my mind because I get calls all the time from buyer's agents. What can you tell me about this?
Yep.
The other thing, I mean, so you're getting your client, you're getting your seller involved, and the seller's homework is like, I sold a truffle farm. The only truffle farm that's ever been sold in the state of North Carolina.
I'm telling you, you want specialty properties this
So I do a lot of crazy things. Horse farms, truffle farms, you name it. Alpaca farms.
Yeah. If I see something like that come across my desk, I just give it to you.
Yeah, I'm looking to sell my first hemp farm, but that hasn't happened. So anyway, no, check it out. So when you tell a client when they have a specialty property, and especially if they've taken this piece of property and they've taken it from just raw dirt and turned it in to a truffle farm or to a horse farm or whatever, there's a story there.
Oh,
okay?
huge.
And that seller wants to tell the story. So I take an MLS out of my little listing bag and I say, you see this right here? I said, this is 502 characters that I can write about your home. I said, on coming soon, you can write a book.
Love that. That's
and I'm
huge.
telling you, they eat it up.
Yeah.
They eat it up because they want to brag about their property. And if you could just go and look at the truffle farm and what this lady did. Listen, I got this lady with the truffle farm so excited that she called the news station, okay, and had the news company come out and do a 30-second, 1-minute thing on Channel 11 News here in the local area.
Wow.
It was great. She blew me away. She knew more about marketing than I did.
And I guarantee, because you've set the precedence, you gave her a phenomenal experience. I guarantee she ain't going to get with anybody else.
Listen,
she's going to send you so many future referrals.
Listen, we
because
sold
of
that house. We sold that house like 2 days after it went live. Okay, they're living in a brand new beachfront house in Fort Myers. Well, not Fort Myers, Florida, but right beside Fort Myers, Florida. They sent me pictures the other day. Now, we sold this house 2 years ago.
Wow.
They love Marty Hampton. They told me on those pictures, you made this possible. So
that's huge.
You know,
yeah, that's huge.
You know.
So before I kind of let you guys go and take over with my marketing stuff, what kind of recommendations do you have for other agents across the country who use Coming Soon Homes when they're going into listing appointments? Is there anything else, tip-wise, resource-wise, anything that you think would be helpful for them to understand to better convert?
I mean, I feel, and I know Ward feels this way too, that you can pretty much overcome every objection with it. I mean,
repeat that.
Yes, you can, for the most part, overcome just about every objection because we've heard them all. We get them every day. In a listing appointment, you can overcome those objections with Coming Soon Home. So if they're not ready, I mean, you know, they need to find a house.
Right.
It's all that will solve it.
Last night I came back with a 600.
That's how I got the 72.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Last night I came back with a $625,000 listing. Okay. The objection on the table that I could not get past was, we don't know what price. We don't know what price. You know what I said? I said, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I said, we're going to go on Coming Soon, and it's going to be to be determined.
Love it.
So they called
me. Or you can
me,
put a range in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or you can put a range.
They called me today, and they said, let's list for $625, which is exactly what I suggested, by the way.
So you know.
So,
just making sure y'all heard that.
But here's the deal. Without a list price, in the old days, I couldn't have walked out of there with a sign.
You had to have the list price before you even walked out. Right.
But with Coming Soon, it gave me the ability to get that pin moving.
And how
I very rarely pin down the price of the listing agreement.
Really?
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, I leave myself a little bit of room because if we're going to be in Coming Soon for 6 months, then if there's comps that close higher within those next few months, I want to give my seller the opportunity to increase his price. And I have a couple right now that are building new construction, and I got the listing and put them in coming soon. Otherwise, those sellers would have just sat there, waited for their house to be done, and then listed it.
Yep.
So we don't miss those ones anymore.
Huge. So you're getting way farther out.
Yeah. She's not ready till February.
Yeah. And also, I think it's really important to understand too, if you're newer to Coming Soon Homes or a new client with us, it is going to take some time. Don't think that overnight everyone in your market's going to know that you have this Coming Soon program. So it is going to take you talking about it. I guarantee I don't even need to ask them. I know every single appointment these guys go on, they're talking about Coming Soon Homes. They go on Facebook Live, do quick Facebook Live teasers about their Coming Soon listings and say, hey y'all, before this property goes live, make sure to visit comingsoonhomes.com. So they are doing everything in their power to promote this program, to showcase, hey, sellers out there that might be watching this video, I can pre-list your home weeks or months, or dare I say a year in advance before it goes active. And that is game changing because nobody else is taking that angle online right now. They're pushing home value ads, how much is your home worth? They're pushing, standard little things. But if you have something different, something that gets people's attention, like the power of a coming soon anything, whether it's an iPhone, a new movie, a new concert coming into town, the same exact thing works in real estate.
Yes,
but it's not a silver bullet. I know you guys hear Marty say that all the time, and it's true. You got to work for it. And these guys work for it. It's not easy, right? Getting multiple offers on a property.
Easy about it.
Yeah. I mean, what is one of the highest, how many offers do you think you've gotten on a property?
13 was the most I ever got.
13 for you. What about
11.
you? 11. Was that easy?
No.
It's much harder, right, to get 13 offers or 11
yeah.
offers on a property than just take the first one that drops in your lap and say, okay, it's a done deal. Congrats, seller.
But we spent 4 months in coming soon. Brought our vendors in, brought the stager in, got the home ready to go, and we got 10,000 over, and they were thrilled.
That's huge.
Of course.
That's
and you get to
huge.
choose your buyer then,
It just takes all the pressure off the sellers. I mean, they're under so they're going to sell their house, buy a new house, and move out of state and start a new job. Okay? Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's more stressful than that? And then I come in and I say, don't worry about this side of it. I got this. Let me do this.
Yep.
Okay?
You ease the stress point.
I thought of one thing that a seller does tell us, and they'll say to us, isn't that too long to be in coming soon? They'll worry about that.
Yeah.
So a seller will say that. So when that happens, then we don't put the sign out yet. We just put the house in coming soon. I'll do a to be determined. No price on it. So that we can start all the behind the scenes prep work for them.
Huge.
So we get the listing, we start the behind the scenes, put the sign out maybe 30, 60 days ahead of time, whatever they're comfortable with. But the other thing is there's buyers online saving their down payment, doing a job transfer. So it's not too soon. There's a whole buyer pool with that timing.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I heard a statistic that buyers typically take, they're like 10 weeks out. They take 10 weeks
it's
or
not,
something.
yeah.
So, I mean, you have to provide the information to these buyers people have access to Google. We don't have to go to our parents anymore to ask them a question. We don't have to, call a friend when we need something. I mean, you can go to Google and find just about anything you need to. And so that's how buyers are operating. They can go right on Google, type in whatever they're looking for, and a huge, powerful thing that Coming Soon Homes also offers is Coming Soon Homes is a federal trademark. If we got people in your market that are using Coming Soon Homes, trying to duplicate this program, and they're not a client of ours, that is an illegal trademark infringement. So we give you SEO power to also ensure that your listings, when someone types in, let's say I drive past one of Mary's listings, I see a Coming Soon Homes sign, so naturally I say, oh, that's a website. I'm going to go on Coming Soon Homes, type in that property address, maybe the community name, and what's going to happen? Because of our SEO value and that federal trademark and all the time and effort that these agents put into promoting this program in this market, their listings are rising to the top of Google search results. Sometimes, actually, if you were to type in Coming Soon Homes Raleigh, try it if you don't believe me right now. Type in Coming Soon Homes Raleigh into Google, and the first thing, let me repeat, the first thing you see on Google is us. That's game changing. It is next to impossible to get above Zillow, Redfin, all those big guys. They have multi-millions of dollars, and I'm going to be honest, we don't. But you know what? We've built it the right way, and it's a system. So everything that these agents do, I hope you can really digest and you're taking notes. I see lots of you asking questions, so I see you. Make sure, don't think that I'm not paying attention. Jennifer, I love what you just said. Use coming soon to overcome almost every objection during your listing presentation.
Yes.
So true.
Yes.
And I cannot preach that enough. I hear so many agents and they're like, this might not be the right circumstances. Sometimes you just got to get creative. That's the cool thing. You're the professional. The seller's coming to you to say, hey, what's in my best interest?
So we have a competitor here in town, and he's a cash buyer, and he said, and one of his famous lines is that if you sell your house to him, he's going to take all the stress away. He's also going to take a lot of your money away.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I tell our clients, I'm going to get you top money, but I'm going to take all your stress away.
Huge. Marty literally just threw out a new stat. She heard from one of the local iBuyer programs. They go in, buy people's houses for cash, exclude the agent, etc. They have found, reporting has found, that when these people are using these kinds of cash buyer systems, they on average are leaving 15 grand on the table.
Yeah.
15 grand. I'm sorry, 15,000 is a lot to me. I mean, I would hope it's a lot to any seller. So what if you could go to the table when you go on a listing appointment and say, hey, Mr. Seller, I can pre-list and pre-market your home, sell it fast, and make sure that you're not leaving a drop of equity on the table. That's a way stronger conversation than, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm going to cut your rate a little bit. We got to do these repairs. I got to slash here, 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 and that number keeps going down and down and down. Their equity's out the door. So when you implement this into every ounce of what you do in these appointments, it's a game changer. You can see, 72 listings.
I wish I knew how many I did, but I wasn't prepared.
You too, though. The drop of that
Nobody
number.
told me there was going to be questions.
But I'm telling you, though,
But
you
Mary's
really...
a superstar. She really is. She's a superstar.
She is. You both are. Goodness. But if anything, I hope you've really learned from these two. If you have questions for them, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'll make sure to reverb any questions back to them. If you have specific questions for each of them, again, if you have questions for Mary, just write Mary, pop a question. If you've got questions for Ward, put Ward, pop a question. Yeah, or you can call it. That's Mary's favorite signature. Call me. But I don't know, do you guys want to stay here or go ahead and go back to work?
I have got so much to do.
Get her done.
We gotta go
Get her done then, y'all. I appreciate
Peace out.
it.
Good luck, everybody.
But one of the things that I thought was key to make sure you understand is how to amplify the buzz around a coming soon listing. And excuse my notes because I want to make sure I get this right. But according to Inman, homes that are marketed as coming soon tend to sell way faster. And also according to Forbes, you should start marketing a home the moment you have a signed listing agreement. Just like Mary and Ward had said, there's no reason to wait, right, before you get that listing into coming soon homes. You don't have to have the price yet. You don't have to have the verbiage yet. You don't have to have the professional pictures yet. But at least start building that buzz day one. The sooner you can get it on the site, the longer of a time period that gives you to maximize the success of that listing. So never, ever, ever hold it back. Just do because you're waiting for things to come back from the client. So I think this is a really cool stat that I really wanted to bring up. I wish that they were still in here, but this is cool because in 2019, Marty actually ran her own numbers. You all hear us talking about these iBuyer programs that come in, they buy out properties for cash, etc. But what's interesting is that Marty actually ran her own numbers. She's trying to figure out how can her team compete with these iBuyer programs that are excluding the agent from the entire transaction. And my alarm's going off now. But what's interesting about this is Marty ran her numbers. These iBuyer programs are literally purchasing homes typically under the $350,000 range and below. So they want affordable properties, easy to flip, good, good home values, etc. So what's interesting is Marty ran her numbers, and in 2019, year to date, Marty's team has sold 50% of their listings in that 350 and below category. So she's sold 50% of those listings over list price. So she's sold over half of those underpriced properties for over list price. Okay, let me do one further. And she sold those properties within 3 days. So a really good question to stimulate to a seller is, is $15,000 worth 3 days of waiting? Typically it takes you 3 days anyways, right, to get everything together. So maximize the time period that you have, and you can use this coming soon program against anything. If you're in a listing appointment, you're up against a discount broker or an iBuyer cash program or an investor, this is the system to pitch to kind of help bevel that edge and help turn them back to you as well. So not only will you have a solution now to sell homes fast, but you have a solution that helps maximize their equity. And for those sellers out there that care about the hard-earned equity that they've built years after years after years after owning that property, they're going to care about 15 grand leaving it on the table. And that's just an average number. We hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you have any feedback or comments, make sure to drop them in the chat section, or make sure to subscribe to be reminded about upcoming episodes that are released every Monday. Make sure it's a great week, and just remember that you are in total control of your success.